Hey there, you guys. So today on my stream, I'm going to be reading one of my absolute favorite chess books. I haven't found a book that I've liked this much in probably about 15 years. So it's huge for me. I absolutely love this book. I haven't actually liked a book this much since Jeremy Stillman's Reassess Your Chess. And I sort of got to the point where I just accepted, well, there's no way I'm going to find a book I like nearly as much. But this one did the trick. And so I'm excited to go over a few of these games. And I think that hopefully the author will be okay with me doing that, and I really hope to conduct myself in such a way with this that perhaps he would even be okay with me covering more of these chapters. But in either way, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this chapter about realizing the concrete advantage. I got some games loaded up. Let's go ahead and take a look at these and see what we can learn from them. As I do this, we may or may not have some fellow viewers kind of pitch in and share their thoughts. We'll see how it goes. So this is the first game we got going on right here. He starts out the position on move 16, so I'll kind of skim through the opening as we get to that critical spot. So again, the topic here is concrete action to realize an advantage. This topic is relevant to players of all levels because there has never been a chess player who has not missed a win in a superior position, either through miscalculating or through failing to detect in time the right moment to go over concrete action to realize his advantage. And such concrete action inevitably requires calculation. Furthermore, there are chess players who are very good at building up winning positions, but who frequently fail to make the most of their chances and then frequently end up boring everybody around them by complaining about how unlucky they are. But the real answer is summed up very succinctly in the book Kramnik, My Life in Games, which I've read before, actually. I've read that one cover to cover. We're on page 145. He says the time had come to calculate some variations, and this section, therefore, deals with the problem of calculation of variations as part of realizing an advantage. First, we shall look at an example of the bitter disappointments which can await a player who does not cope well with this task. In the diagram on the following page, white lands a simple, tactical, but nonetheless effective combinative blow. All right, so we start out with this. Things look pretty hunky-dory, pretty even, pretty tame so far, right? We go like this, and then we see we go bishop g5. We got these moves, and we're just bringing our guys in. They're just maneuvering, just bringing things in here. Now queen to d3, but then all of a sudden, whoa, okay, now we have possibly a mate threat, right? And then black plays this move. So now there's this really spectacular tactical blow that white can do right here. And so he plays it. He goes with this move, knight to d7. Holy smokes, what is happening here? Okay, so first off, let's say we try to do like this, and we try to kick away the knight, hoping for maybe here when we can do checkmate, right? Well, that's not going to happen because the knight can go here, and then it's also guarding h7. Won't cut it. Ain't going to work. So where's this move coming from? How on earth does this move make sense? I'm also going to go like this. Okay. Well, after right here, then black's going to take this way. Okay, so far we're just down a piece. Okay, what's happening? Well, let's check out this. If queen takes b2, another option that black has here, then we can go knight takes here on e4, and after pawn takes, queen takes right here, pawn g6, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, and then we have knight takes f8, bishop d3, and then rook takes, I would imagine, or king takes, okay, and then here. Holy smokes, what on earth was that? I'll tell you what, that was a very exciting, very difficult to calculate type of a line. You know, that's very difficult to come up with a move like knight d7 and visualize all that kind of stuff in advance. But so the point of that again was that if black had not taken here but instead opted to take a pawn and start kind of trebling these pieces around here, then things would shake out even worse. Okay, well after this here, takes on d7. Now we're going to go knight takes d5. See, so things are ramping up and becoming quite messy, quite complicated. Hey, Northern Chess, how's it going? I'm doing an advanced book reading. So you're welcome to join in, kind of share your questions or comments or anything. This is a book where I have just really obsessed over it quite a bit, and I'm kind of getting into the weeds a little bit to where I'm starting to lose sight of the bigger picture. Hence why I think it might be fruitful for me to kind of break out of my hermit shell with this book and talk about it a bit. It's probably my favorite book that I've ever read, chess-wise, or maybe otherwise too, I guess. Knight takes d5. Holy smokes. A lot of action on the board. Well, after right here, queen takes on b2. So after this right here, the author says, this is the first critical moment. After White's successful handling of the first stage of the tactical operation, he must now choose between several continuations. No kidding. Wow. Can you imagine trying to figure out what the right move is here in a real tournament game and everything? Not just blitz, but a tournament game you're actually trying to win, you know? Wow. Well, I mean, where do you start? Where do you start? We could take this piece, we could take this one, or we could take it with this knight. How on earth are you supposed to make sense of that? And who knows, maybe you want to throw in this rook move first, or maybe for some reason you want to use this rook to do it, you know? This is some complicated chess. Okay, White chooses to go with this move here. Bishop takes e7. Nothing is promised by knight takes e7 check when after knight takes right over here, and then bishop takes, we're going to see this move, rook takes c2. But then, yeah, so that would not be so groovy. So we don't want to take like this. However, stronger than bishop takes would actually be the move rook to b1, a to b1. When after queen takes right here, not this move, sort of a natural looking move, but actually an outright mistake, due to queen takes e4, pawn to f5, knight takes e7 check. You see what I mean? It's just, holy smokes, there's a lot happening here. Queen takes, and then White is winning. All right, so he's up by a piece, and then now if Black were to take this way, then we could happily just take here, I suppose. When it still seems to be a bit of a battle, though, after right here. But then we can neutralize this whole action on g2 immediately with this move. Here check, swapping off the queens, and then we're just up a clean piece. Bada bang, bada boom. All right, let's go back a bit then. So here we see the move queen takes instead. So if he had gone here, then black should go this way. Queen takes b1, and then after this, we're looking at bishop takes b1, and then bishop takes g5. Craziness. If he goes this way instead, then we go h4. Are you kidding me? What is happening? This is nuts. Bishop to e6. We take on g5 here. And then after we take on g5 like so, we look at right here, since we are threatening mate there, right? We just knocked out the defender of that mate. So pawn to g6. Now we take on e7. And this is looking good for White. I guess, let's see. So what's the deal here? Why is this so good for White? If we go like this, what are we looking on material? Rook, rook, bishop, bishop. So we have a knight and a rook versus a queen. Pawns are even. Is there any chance to push the advantage here, or is that it? That might be it. It might just be a material thing, unless I'm missing something basic. Because we can't really push d5. So maybe he just considers the material to be good here for White, but I'm unconvinced. The knight's going to have this square. Any suggestions or anything in the chat? I mean, he says Black also has a difficult position. He doesn't necessarily say it's crushing for White or anything. He just says Black has a difficult position should he choose to go for this. Boy, I mean, you know what? Ironically, in a blitz game, I think I might even prefer Black here because you have this knight, and it's difficult to see how you break through here. It's going to take a lot of skill to push something like this. So I'm not quite sure where the advantage then would be for White here, to be honest with you. I'm probably making myself look like an amateur right now saying that, but that's truthfully where I'm at. I just don't quite understand how this is convincing. All right, let's cheat for a second. Use the engine. Okay. It's a 3-point advantage right now for white. More than one move do the trick, but okay. When you're up material, what do you want to do? You want to trade. Oh no, we hung the bishop. Psych. We get this knight here. So this move, bishop to a2, kind of making use of this pin, helps to force off some trades. And if right here, we can just take on d5, but even more precise, it looks like would be the move rook to e5. I think for practical purposes, if it's just a tenth of a pawn difference, I think I just want to grab that guy. And then after right here, we have this. I don't know. The computer's saying we have a 2.5 advantage, but that sure does seem difficult to win. I'm just curious what would happen after that. Here, and then we can go queen g3, I guess. Pawn b5. Queen f4. Okay, I'm convinced as I need to be, I suppose, for that. So going back to the highlighted portion here. Again, the point there was that on that move bishop takes on e7, it would have been better actually for white to make this move. Can you imagine how hard it is to come up with a move like that? Imagine looking at this position and you're playing a player who's 25-54 and you've got to sort out all these moves and come up with this? Are you kidding me? I mean, what's the most natural looking thing here? Probably this knight move. He did mention that first, right? This also looks natural, immediately threatening mate. This is a move he did not mention. Why did he not mention this? Is it because of f5? Nuts. Totally nuts. Okay, if it's f5, then it seems like we would just go here with check. And then if takes, then we go here to get the queen out of harm's way, and then here. And then maybe now, oh, you know what? I bet you it's this. I bet you that's why you don't want to do it, is because now you don't have the chance to do this check right here. All right, speaking of checking, let's take a look with the computer. No, this is still really, really dominant for white. I've missed some major things apparently. Queen d5 check. This comes over, and then you go this way. It's considered very good. Guarding g2 with tempo. Okay, well, what did I miss? Why was queen takes e4 not even worth mentioning? It is because of pawn f5. Okay, and then here takes, knight takes, and then if queen takes, this is still pretty good for white. This is still a decent option. Oh, and then there's a good move here for black. What's the best move here for black? Any guesses? Rook to f7. Rook f7, guarding this guy right here. And so that's gonna slow us down our attack considerably. We go like this, queen to d6, and then you can just go here, and then our attack's been sort of neutralized. Man, that's difficult stuff to come up with. Okay, so after queen takes b2, and then we take here on e7. This is considered, I suppose, a little bit sloppy, since this would have been better. And you really can't guess that on principles. That's kind of what stands out to me about this book, is that there's so many positions where you really have to put in the work to figure it out. You can't just look at this for 2 seconds and go, oh, it's obviously this, or it's obviously this. It's really about sinking your teeth in and trying to figure this stuff out. And he's showing a lot of really, convincing examples of where you need to really give that extra elbow grease to come out on top. So I love this book. Okay, what do we have happening? So after here takes, and then he goes right there. Now knight takes d4, creating some complications, further complications. This is a great move here by black, after which now white's going to take this way, which as it turns out is a mistake. Oh my goodness. How is that a mistake? That looks like the most natural move here. While on the previous move, white had missed the chance of a clear and lasting advantage, he did not as yet seriously spoil anything. But this move is a much more serious error. These things happen over and over again in chess. One sees the typical pattern, first a small inaccuracy, then a more serious error, and then an outright mistake, kind of a snowball effect. Here, white still had a highly pleasant variation, beginning with queen takes e4. I mean, how on earth do you figure that kind of stuff out? You know, it's inspiring, and I don't know. It seems impossible at the same time. Well, here's what the deal is with this move. If he had found this, then play may proceed as follows. You go with this, allowing for this knight fork. Okay, then rook comes over here. Knight's going to take this way. And then we grab the queen. Holy guacamole, that's messy. You go here, you go g4, because suddenly this position is the grob. Bishop comes here to c6. And then you go rook to b1, kind of covering your butt down this way. Okay, and after this here, and he has to do this. You can't go really with h3, because then if you have knight to f3 double check, this comes up, and then rook to d1, and black has counterplay, aiming to attack this guy here on d5. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So you go this way, rook down to b1, and then after this, the variation still continues. Here takes, and then I would imagine, oh wow, you give up your queen. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. Look at this stuff. Here, here. This comes back, and then there it takes. Like, what? What? Look how many moves that was. Look how many moves that was. This is move 26. He made a mistake on move 19 because of some combination that's 7 or 8 moves out. That is wild. That's some wild, wild stuff. Okay. Go back to the game here. He makes this error, after which now knight takes on c2, grabbing a piece, doing this fork. That's certainly a move that you can make sort of intuitively. Not much calculation there, I guess. I most certainly did. Hence why my hair is wet. So, so after right here, then we're going to go rook e to b1. White finds a way to complicate his opponent's task. If instead he made the more natural looking move queen takes e4, then we see the move knight takes on e1, rook takes on e1, rook takes f8. I mean, how do you figure out what's happening here? This is nuts. So then we have this one here. Did you get a chance to check out that video I posted last time on YouTube? If you haven't, you should totally do it. What do we have happening? So he takes this way. Yeah, Robert. So after here and here, then what's going on? So this takes, and then what's his consensus? Black has a significant advantage. So, I mean, let's just go back for a second. Look how wild and crazy this turned out. This was so stale, not that long ago, and then as soon as this move came up, yeah, the biggest raid. Yeah, there was that one there, but also that one where he played against a bot. That one got some traction. That was fun. As soon as this move came up, then things just broke into a flurry of just craziness. So fast. So fast. Okay, so after right here, then we have like this, and then he finds this move. And so this is much better than the move here. Again, I'm just gonna hit this point over and over again. This is the type of position where you really just can't. Yeah, that one did actually. It was kind of strange. I guess that one was popular because I was sort of solving a problem. A lot of people couldn't really figure that out at the time. So then, this guy comes over here. Yeah. And then what happens? So then he goes this way. He's going to take on A1. And then we take right here. I mean, it's like, with this type of calculation, it's so hard to even figure out if you're ahead or not, you know? He's going to give up his queen to stop the back rank mate. And then what are we looking at here? We have a rook to a knight and a bishop. That's looking pretty miserable. I guess we do get a pawn at least and some activity. Okay, so then after right here, then what is going to happen next? Oh, one more thing too. This very natural looking move, turns out actually kind of imprecise. It is possible that time trouble was becoming a factor, and black here misses the best chance. It looks stronger to have instead played the move bishop to e6, when after rook takes b7, bishop takes d5, rook b8, pawn to f6, pawn f3, knight g5. White faces a difficult defense. The difference is that white's bishop cannot attack the a6 pawn. Yeah, right? Cannot attack the a6 pawn, whereas the knight can. Now the game moves towards a peaceful conclusion. After this right here, then he's going to go king this way. We take here on b7, and now they head towards a draw here. This way, this way. I mean, he dismisses it as there being nothing really to talk about here or something, but I don't know, I wouldn't believe in myself to get a draw here necessarily, especially against a 25-50. Probably also because I'd be in a ton of time pressure. But I mean, I suppose it's not really the point of the book, right? He's not really talking about endgame stuff, so it makes sense that he would truncate this part and not offer further commentary. After rook to d8, the game is declared a draw. All right, so I think I'm gonna end this recording right there. Hope you guys like that. Again, this is the book How to Calculate Chess Tactics by Valerie BM. Highly recommend it. I'm still gonna stream a little bit longer, but I'm gonna end the recording here. Highly recommend you get it, and I think you're gonna really get a kick out of it. If you're advanced, this is really a specific market. You need to be pretty advanced to really have this be a fitting book in your chess library. All right, let me know if you like this. Let me know if you'd like me to make more. Play lots of chess. I'll see you guys later.